Greetings and salutations, operators, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time, we discovered that, or we assumed that, the fraudster William Shamspear has been blowing out the gas pipes in order to suffocate his fellow, flatmate? I don't know. Boarder? Renter, that works. But because it's quote-unquote circumstantial conjecture, we have called in a single Miss Olive Green, who apparently did have the poison of the strychnine, or however you pronounce that, which reacted like a lot faster than what was described, unless we talked for like half an hour, which is possible, I guess. Anyways, this should be the final stretch. Also, was not aware that the update for Honkai Star Rail was today, so really gotta finish this case, and we'll go there tomorrow, hopefully. Anyways, onward. Oh god. This piece of chicken can like shard in the worst way. I think I moved my teeth. Until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Rinosuke. You have to. (23rd February, 12:30 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Today's Tuesday, right? Am I not going crazy? In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. For the recess, we heard a most sterling accusation from the defense. Namely, that the victim of the case we heard here only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident. A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. However, the prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores. So racist. Thank you for that backhanded consideration. A rather cold assessment from the Honorable British Prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van Zieks, is the new witness present and ready to take the stand? Ready and waiting in the witness's antechamber, my lord. Very well, bailiff, bring the witnesses in. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court, please. William Shamspear, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only that I be a tragic victim to be pitied. Currently unemployed, in other words.
Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no. Not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too weak-spirited to admit she has no talent, I suppose.
Also currently unemployed, in other words. What a courtier. Mr. Shakespeare. My lord, I am thy humble servant. I'm afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would for naught else, my lord.
And Miss Green,
Yes.
you are aware of the reason you have been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume?
Yes, the officer did explain. He said I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon.
And? Do you accept the charge, Miss Green?
I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man.
Come, lady, die to live. Verily, I know not thy prickly pea-pigmented personage. Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand. That being, to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair.
It's all very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely ever go to the East End anyway. It so happens that I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on the night that this man was poisoned, I was still in hospital, fighting for my life.
Yes, having been unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside the Gerardip household. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days.
I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife, through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion. What other irrelevant things might be suspected of? It's all very disturbing.
Your energies may be better spent worrying about random knife attacks, I feel, Miss Green. At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shakespeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally, now, about exactly what happened.
Oh no. The incident 6 days ago. You mean you want me to relive that awful accident?
Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shakespeare. Huh? But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned. Why are you reacting to that? Let's proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court on the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road the evening of the 17th of February. The evening of 17th February.
It was 6 days ago, about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow when I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings.
I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper.
It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to hospital, so I knew nothing about all of this business.
Yes, a second incident inside a week, at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume this is a most unfortunate coincidence. Meanwhile, you say you are not in your room, Mr. Shamspear.
'Twas the following morn, when I did awaken, that I learned of the dire events. Mary, what a commotion did the officer of the law make of the floor above mine.
When Toseki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. As suspected, there is nothing connecting these two witnesses but the happenstance. It's true, it does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. And this is my one and only chance to expose it. Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish. Yes, my lord. Cross-examination. The evening of 17th February.
It was 6 days ago, at about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow, when I was suddenly stabbed in the back.
Hold it! I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It was awful. I still can't believe I was unconscious for so long. And I woke up to find that the case had been solved and the culprit arrested.
Yes, the incident has already been resolved. Already. Perhaps it would help you to consider it a bad dream that ended with your awakening, and should now be forgotten.
Yes, I suppose so. Thank you.
But before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day, for us to arrive at the truth about this new case.
The trouble is, there's nothing to tell really. I was just walking along the pavement. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings.
Hold it! What were you doing there that day, though?
What do you mean?
The art school you attend. What's it called?
Ah, yes. It's the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. According to Mr. Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, which is some 10 stops away from the scene on the underground.
I believe you mentioned before that you also live on Brixton Road. Isn't that right? So why, then, would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End?
Well, it's because, oh yes, of course. I thought it might make a nice picture.
The witness is a student of art. City-dwelling artists can't all paint grand urban vistas.
That's right. I just happen to like the crumbling look of that part of town. Perhaps quaint would have been less. Perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term.
The point is, she's definitely hiding something.
Yes, it seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth.
If she's trying to hide why she was there that evening, it must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. And you, Mr. Shamspear, on the evening of the incident, 6 days ago, would you tell the court what exactly you were doing? 'Twould be my pleasure, sire.
I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, for I had bespoke my supper.
Hold it! A tavern, you say? Which one?
'Twas the Slug and Salad where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel in the East End.
And a little unexpected, I feel. What do you mean, Lord Van Zeeks? The Slug and Salad offers unusually fine dining. For the locality, at least. Not an establishment you'd expect to be patronized by a man who, with not even a crumb of bread in his room. Huh, interesting. Is Van Zeeks really on our side?
It's true. The menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water, in different levels of cloudiness.
I would have expected gloves grubbery in the local vicinity to be more appropriate for your needs. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather soupy water and pea like mush. All equally appetizing. I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that? How different can water really be? Well, if the shop's offering different cloudiness, very.
Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason why he had to go to that particular establishment.
Agreed.
The fact that on that day of all days, he dined at a place he wouldn't normally. It does stand out. So Mr. Shamspeare's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. I wonder if we have some evidence that can explain those actions.
Whoever opened this envelope didn't bother with a letter opener or scissors, did they?
Yes, whoever opened it was clearly someone with an unrefined temperament. And judging from the angle of the rip here, the person in question must have been right-handed.
Mr. Sato,
I think perhaps
someone's been reading too much of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes.
you could never read too much of it, Mr. Naruhodo. Never!
Can I present it? Okay, let's hold off. I wish we did, but sadly, I can't think of anything at the moment.
If we find a clue that can explain why Mr. Shamspeare went there, we must present it to the court.
Yes, absolutely. If that is all on this matter, counsel, I would ask Miss Green to reiterate her next statement.
It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all.
Hold it! What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate.
It was nothing really. It's not worth mentioning.
If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital.
Ah,
It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross.
oh, what does that matter?
What?
This has nothing to do with Duncan.
Aha! Excuse me! Mr. Shamspeare, do you have something to share with the court? I really wish my eyes would stop doing that. It's literally my cheeks. It's triggering off my cheeks. I can't fix it either, because I already, like, reduced the sensitivity of my blinks.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Ah, pray forgive me. The great bard's words springeth from within me with ne'er thought.
Don't tell me. It's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something. Something of relevance, perhaps?
Well, nay, sire. 'Twas nothing at all.
Presumably, you know the name, though. Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, we were both lodgers in the same house.
It would be so, but sadly nay. Lodging may be a lonely occupation, sire. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me.
So you haven't heard of him? Even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours? Miss Green.
Me, my lord? Or have I done something wrong?
The card that was mentioned before contained a note. Do you have it upon your person?
I do, yes. But I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away, really.
Before you dispose of it, the court will take it as evidence, please. Miss Green's card has been entered into the court record. A note in an envelope that seems to have a note in an envelope that seems to have been ripped open rather roughly. It contains instructions to meet with someone who claims to have information about Duncan Ross. Of course, that's what links Mr. Shakespeare and Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross. Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green. I'm gonna go back.
Hold it!
Let's go quickly through this. Attack, you see. Which one? Oh, it's sluggish salad. Great water. 5 different types. Present evidence. Mr. Shakespeare.
Yes, sire.
On the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason?
I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speaketh.
Very well, I will present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day, namely... The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? Miss Green strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah.
What is it?
The way the envelope is torn, I'm not sure I've seen the exact shape somewhere else.
Oh, you don't mean... What do you think of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruto?
Exactly, that's it. Try mashing them up. Ta-da!
They go together perfectly. This torn off end of the envelope clearly belongs to this card.
The details of Miss Green's card has been updated in the court record. A note in an envelope that seems to have been ripped open rather roughly. The envelope fits perfectly with a torn off piece found at the scene of crime. Fits perfectly with the envelope in Miss Green's possession. So I can't read the card?
Take that!
I believe this card reveals the answer. Good lord! Miss Green's card, you mean? That's right, my lord. It reads... I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter, or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shakespeare, your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Personally, I find it hard to believe that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shamspear?
Well... Excuse me, can I say something?
Yes, Miss Green?
That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it?
Well, you think so, yes. But it's hard to believe it's merely...
My lord, may I?
May you what, Miss Green?
I'd like to make something very clear about that card.
Very well then, you may amend your testimony to include details about the particular note. Why is she defending him? How would she know? It's unaddressed.
This note was delivered to me at my address. It's nothing to do with the odd man next to me here.
Hold it! I think you said that you received it the day before the incident, didn't you?
Yes, that's right.
There appears to be no indication of the sender's name or address on the envelope.
It's in my letterbox, and that's all I know, I'm afraid. I have no idea who sent it.
I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Who is this Duncan Ross, please?
A friend of mine. He attended the same art school as I do. He passed away in a tragic accident a month ago now, though. I wasn't sure what to make of that note, to be honest. But in the end, I decided to go.
So you found out what that information was?
Of course I didn't. You're not thinking straight.
Well, it's on her way there. She was stopped in the back, as my learned friend hopefully remembers. Ah, yes, of course. She never made it to the meeting.
Oh, Mr. Naruto, you pursued Mr. Shamspear wonderfully there.
Worked out well, hasn't it? We have a new clue at last. All right, now I need to pull off a really insightful objection somewhere.
Well, as you've managed to expose this promising new angle, I wonder if you should perhaps try to develop that.
Ah, yes, of course. And yelling out objections isn't necessarily the best way to do that, I suppose. Then why did he have the envelope in his room? The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address. And upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in the hospital.
Yes, I did. It's terrible. Everything that's happened to me.
Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is.
What do you mean?
Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's a torn off end of an envelope.
Oh, is it?
And it so happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received.
Where did you find that?
In Mr. Shamspear's room. Huh? In my room? Mr. Shamspear, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere? Well... Your actions that afternoon followed the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. And so, that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamspear. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green.
What did I do?
As this torn off end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamspear's room. So, how is it that it came to be in your possession?
I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist, after all.
There's only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shakespeare's room and stole it.
You what? Sorry, thou hast what? You thou were in my room? What on earth do you want with me?
It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again. Oh man, did she actually poison them? But how would she have known it was on the gas pipe? Miss Green.
Yes.
Well, you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in recent events. Anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind.
Yes, I know.
Very well then, witnesses. You will give formal testimony again now, on the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims to have received. The anomaly of the note.
I do remember now. 'Twas a week ago. Free adventure. That note was delivered unto me. On the day writ with therein, I did tarry at a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow. I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here. And as for that torn off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shakespeare?
Faith, 'tis so, my lord. And I would swear to have set upon my table in my humble lodgings. Yet, 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid eyes upon it.
Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was...
A lie. Is that what you think? How unfair you think I'm the one lying.
I beg your pardon?
I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said, and fledgling artists don't lie. That note was delivered to me at my address. Besides, we all know who the liar around here is.
If that's true, Miss Green, how do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was, without question, found in Mr. Shakespeare's room.
I don't see why I should explain it.
Sorry?
I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is to just say what happened. That's all. It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer.
The fledgling will do his best. Evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth. Well, counsel. I'm ready, my lord. Very well then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses.
Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shakespeare's room. There can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the notes.
Yes, two facts are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all of this. And it's not a pretty one. Cross-examination. The anomaly of the note.
I do remember now. It was a week ago, pre-adventure. That note was delivered unto me.
Hold it! And can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all?
Nay, sire. 'Tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with a knowledge of literature as great as mine own, verily, This is impenetrable.
But Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. In effect, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you? Counterpoint. I have never known my neighbor's name in like 20 years.
Alack, if the choices be twixt I knew him and I knew him not, then 'tis with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted.
Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to Sluggish Salad. Presumably, that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature?
Mary, not will have the better of me, sire, save for the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true, I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern, yet in the end, my curiosity was not sated. On the day writ therein, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came.
Hold it! So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared?
Well, yes, sire. This as thou sayest.
Really? You paused for a moment there. You paused for a moment before you answered.
In truth, when thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall.
Really? Do you mean to tell the course that somebody did appear after all?
I was not alone that night at the Slug and Salad, my lord. No, 'tis returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and mine innards to a premium crust of bread. Then, and all around me, danced a great many companions.
What do you mean?
Flies, sir. Flies, sire. Flies.
Good lord!
In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, in a midsummer night's dream, come to taunt me?
I think they were just flies.
I can't help thinking that the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong of me? Thereafter, on the evening, I shared the company of the Japanese fellow. I did see the note had vanished.
Hold it! When exactly did you notice it had gone missing?
Such idle thoughts snared occupy my mind. I am busied with great ideas.
In other words, you didn't notice. Several days passed between your outing to the tavern and Mr. Natsumi's visit to your room. Yes, it would appear that the note disappears sometime in that interval.
Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas.
And yes, during that time, Miss Green was comatose in the hospital, was she not? Clearly then, she could not have been stealing things from Mr. Shakespeare's room.
Ah, yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding. Isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir?
You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the note.
Ah,
I am not here to advocate for your defense, madame. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that.
oh, dearie me.
What's Lord Van Zeke's getting at?
I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I?
Hold it! It seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shakespeare about 1 week ago.
Oh, does it?
But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that could have happened except for you breaking into Mr. Shakespeare's lodging.
Objection!
But for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless.
Miss Green could only have Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shakespeare's room. And yet, there is no obvious sign why she would have done such a thing.
What if there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings then?
Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruto.
We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough.
I can point out the villain here. And as for that torn off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
Hold it!
So you don't want to tell the court the truth about Claire, is it? Is that it?
I'm a fledgling artist, remember. Artists are nearly always introverted characters.
Introverted? Then, this fledgling doth rarely cast aspirations about my nature. Yet I am an angel, a seraph, birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wings. Oh pity, wherefore doth thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman?
Pure of heart? I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure.
Tragedy, thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction thereafter by death here. Oh the days, oh the years, alas to enlighten thee, thou must wait so long, and in vain.
Mr. Naruto, interject with some clever remark. This is your chance to shine.
No Shakespearean actor. I'm no Shakespearean actor, Mr. Sauer. No. As far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument
is evidence, yes. It's clear that Miss Green did in fact break into Mr. Shakespeare's room, isn't it? And that's where she found this letter.
Yes. Two more or less foregone conclusions that lead me to one terrifying conclusion.
Terrifying?
Yes. I'm afraid to say that the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. Okay. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to add the motivation of Duncan Ross. But what clues will have led her to Champion's room? Let's go with him for a ref.
Objection!
Oh no, that wasn't right. That last statement was contradictory in a number of ways, I think you'll find. In a number of ways, you say. That's right, my lord. In a number of ways. Perhaps it would serve you well to concentrate your efforts on one contradiction at a time, counsel. I made a bit of a mess of that. In a number of ways, actually. something we can do. Well, this is the poison we've been hearing so much about. Strychnine. There are a few remnants on the bottom of the bottle here. Look.
You mustn't be tempted to try it.
Of course not. As long as you don't lose this trial.
No, even if we lose the trial. No, we mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruto.
Make your mind up, Susawa-san. This is the only other piece of evidence I can think of.
Objection!
Oh, it was that one. Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle. And though its contents spilt during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained.
Huh.
According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Shom's chemistry set, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine. What? Strychnine? The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear. Huh? Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings. For one reason, and one reason alone. To cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamspear's room with poison. Can this be? You broke into my room? It may seem incredible to the court. But from the remaining clues, there's only one logical conclusion that we can reach. The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamspear's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Me!
Order! Order! Counsel, are you seriously suggesting this woman put poison on the end of the gas pipe with the intent to kill her? Yes, my lord. There's no other way to explain the facts. But if Miss Green did indeed set this odious trap 6 days ago, and the victim had put his mouth to the pipe that very evening as expected, the attempted murder would have happened 6 days ago, surely. Well, that's a very good point. Perhaps not, my lord. Because Natsume-san wasn't in his room. He was arrested by that point. He would have no reason to blow in the pipe. But how the hell would he... I beg your pardon? There was a significant police presence in the area that evening, on account of the incident on Briar Road. Local residents were being interviewed throughout the night as part of the ongoing inquiry. Oh yeah, that too. A circumspect criminal would likely have chosen not to carry out any wrongdoing at the time. Lord Van Zeeks.
And of course, the following morning there was more activity at Mr. Shamspear's address.
More activity? Ah, yes. You mean his fellow lodger, Mr. Natsume, being arrested on suspicion of murder?
That's right. And after the defense has already proposed, Mr. Shamspear was meddling with the gas in the pipe for a very sinister reason himself, to cause the gas stove in Mr. Natsumi's room to go out, thereby asphyxiating the occupant. But once Mr. Natsumi had been arrested, his room was under constant surveillance by the police. In the circumstances, Mr. Shamspear had no reason to blow air into the gas pipe.
His intended victim, being in a prison cell, with the need to tamper with the gas removed, the poison on the pipe lay dormant.
And then, 3 days ago now, the situation changed again.
Right! Mr. Natsumi's trial, which took place here at the Old Bailey, came to an end. The trial in which the man stood accused of stabbing Miss Green in the back, but was duly acquitted.
That resulted in Mr. Natsumi returning to his lodgings for the first time in 2 days. And that very night, his gas stove mysteriously went out, and Mr. Shamspear was mysteriously poisoned. In conclusion, the poison that was present on the mouth of the gas pipe had been put there in the victim's room some 4 days earlier.
Merely!
With that new understanding, it becomes clear that this lair was all part of the plan.
What plan?
The court will recall that the note gave instructions to visit the Slug and Salad at 5 o'clock, and that the recipient should tell nobody else. The reasons for those instructions are now clear.
To ensure that the lodger would not be at home at the stated time.
To make sure I wasn't home?
Exactly.
While you were out, Miss Green could safely slip into your room, knowing that she wouldn't be disturbed.
You mean to say that letter
was written by Miss Green, yes. And in order to cover her tracks, she took it away with her when she left. Just after she smeared poison over the mouth of the gas pipe in your room.
Order! Order! What do you have to say for yourself, witness?
Just who are you? Why did you try to kill me? Miss Green's motive should be obvious. It's all tied up with someone whose name we've heard several times already during the course of this trial.
So, that's what's behind all of this. You will share your apparent understanding with the court, please, counsel. Which person is behind this woman's motive for the attack on the victim's life?
One Duncan Ross, the love of Miss Green's life, who sadly passed away a month ago as a result of gas poisoning.
Take that!
Duncan Ross.
That's right. Before the defendant, Mr. Natsumi, took up residence in the lodgings at Mr. Garrett's, somebody else was renting the room. Mr. Duncan Ross.
I knew I'd heard the name somewhere else. It was all over the papers a month ago, when the man died in strange circumstances at the haunted lodgings. That does ring a vague... Ah, of course, yes, I remember now. The young man they claim was strangled by the convict's curse, or some such.
Sadly, my lord, it wasn't a curse of any kind, nor was it an accident. The man died as a result of Mr. Shamspear blowing into the gas pipe and causing gas to leak into the room.
It was murder, plain and simple.
Well, what do you know? The world is so unfair. Curses, Chili's death. That's all people care about. If it's an interesting story, they want to know. It doesn't cross their minds. that real people are involved. And once they're bored, just 1 month later, once the story lost its appeal, everyone's forgotten him. You mean you. Duncan was.
Mr. Ross was Miss Green's fiancé.
Fiancé?
You may not have known until now who Miss Green really is, Mr. Shakespeare. But she's known exactly who you are all along. Because you're her sworn enemy. The murderer who took the life of the man she was to marry.
Marry!
Miss Green, is it not the case that in order to exact revenge on Mr. Shakespeare, you smeared poison over the end of the gas pipe? My gosh, Short. This is all quite extraordinary. Am I correct in my understanding that you now accuse both parties, counsel? Each on different counts of murder? Yes, my lord. That's correct.
Objection!
Inhaling so deeply, it appears that my fledgling learned friend has taken in a lungful of dubious gas, thus causing his judgment to be clouded. What? Why would Mr. Shakespeare have wanted to kill these lodgers, as you say? You have completely failed to provide a motive to substantiate your accusation against the man. Yes, that's right, Mr. Reaper, my liege. I have been slighted. This lies, all lies. I deny every utterance.
And you'll have to forgive me, Mr. Naruto, sir. But I don't intend to admit to anything either.
Miss Green.
I'm sure you'll think I'm being very rude, but I'm not going to be sent to the gallows for the likes of this scoundrel.
Objection!
But you broke into the man's room. If you didn't do it to smear poison on the pipe, what was your reason?
I thought I'd have a look around. That's all.
Sorry?
You're right. I suspected him. So I thought perhaps I might find some evidence or something in his room. Evidence that was him who took Duncan's life. Oh, vileness! Oh, villainy! Oh, tyranny! Oh, rotundity of women! But in any case, wherever I leave my room, I do turn the key in the lock. That whole place was falling apart. The locks on the doors are no different. Duncan showed me once how to unlock the door with some terps and a piece of wire.
I feel like Duncan might be someone we might have to investigate separately after this.
Oh, waffleness! Oh, artfulness! Oh, tyranny! Oh, profanity of women!
We will consider your trespassing on some future occasion. But for now, tell the court what you found. What evidence you just searched revealed.
Well, I spotted the note that I sent him lying on the floor. When I went to pick it up, I noticed something. One of the floorboards was loose, and underneath it, I discovered a secret hiding place.
Huh? Yes, we also discovered that hiding place.
Inside, we found a newspaper cutting, a photograph, and an empty tin box. Ah, yes. Well, the thing is, when I found it, the box wasn't empty.
What? There was something in it?
Yes. This rather nice key.
Ah! What? What are you doing with that? What the?
Every ounce of color has drained from his face. Give it here! Give it to me now!
It's mine! I inherited it! What was that witness? What did you say? You inherited it?
Oh, no, Oh. What's all this about? He inherited that key? It was obviously important to you that you've gone to such lengths to hide it. So I took it. I don't know what it's for, but you took something precious from me, so I took something precious from you. So what if it means you can't open something now? I don't care.
Give it back this minute! Give it to me! Calm yourself, witness!
So Mr. Shanspeare has tried, and in one case succeeded, to take the life of 2 lodgers now. Yes, his motive for doing so is the key to everything that's happened. It's true that there appears to be no motive to support the accusation against Mr. Shanspeare at first. But considering everything we now know, I think there is actually something that could explain it.
What?
And we recall every piece of evidence at our disposal, everything we've seen and heard. Because I'm sure that I just caught a glimpse of the link that runs through all these events.
In that case, counsel, I must demand that you present evidence to the court in support of your claim. What is it that you say can explain the motive for Mr. Shanspeare's alleged crime?
Take that!
That's an official police report, is it not? The Selden fire. How did you get a hold of that?
Selden? The now sadly deceased Mr. Ross and the defendant, Mr. Natsume, have only one thing linking them. The fact that they had lodgings in the same room.
Well, yes, we know this, certainly. A room that was formerly occupied by Selden. Until, that is, he was arrested by Scotland Yard for his involvement in multiple burglaries. I see. And it so happens that the convict Selden left behind one very substantial mystery when he died. The sum £1,000 worth of loot that he stole, which as yet remains to be found. Ah, yes, of course. It's coming back to me now. It's written in this file here. £1,000 lost en route to hell. That was how the papers summed it up. And it seems that one particular fellow inmate was with the convict in his final moments. It's not hard to imagine Selden entrusting that inmate with his most closely guarded secret. The location of the stolen loot. Or perhaps a key to unlock whatever container the valuables were in. You mean this key is... Mr. Shanspeare, it was you, wasn't it? You were at the capital offender's side when he died, were you not?
What are you talking about? This is a false charge, I tell you! A false charge!
The name of the inmate who was with Selden at his death isn't noted in this file. But a simple telegram to the prison where he died will quickly tell us how false the charge really is. But even if that's true, even if it's true, why would the man be so intent on killing every subsequent occupant of the convict's lodgings? There's only one explanation for that, my lord. It was in that very room that Selden hid his loot. So, it all comes out now. Yes. And having established that, all of Mr. Shakespeare's subsequent actions start to make sense. Perfect sense. When he was let out of prison following Sullivan's death, he made immediately for Mr. Garrett's lodgings, in the hopes of renting Sullivan's old room. However, the retired army man was unable to offer him the accommodation of his choice, because Sullivan's old room had already been let to somebody else, Mr. Duncan Ross. Which is why Mr. Shakespeare subsequently devised his gas-based plot to kill the occupant of the room. And when he was successful, he presumably intended to inquire about switching into the newly vacant room. However, a certain jittery someone had beat him to it. Mr. Soseki Natsume, the defendant of this case, no less. So you decide to use the ploy with the gas again, didn't you, Mr. Shakespeare? This time to oust Mr. Natsume. All for one simple and voracious reason: to get your hands on the 1,000 pounds of loot left behind by the dead convict. You. Looks like I'm gonna snuff it. Listen, I want you to have me loot. Anything to stop the coppers from getting their mitts on it. 'Tis in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Here, this is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shakespeare. Took me a second to figure out who's talking. It's mine. Looks like I'm gonna snuff it before they get to stretch me neck. Listen, I want you to have me loot. Anything to stop the coppers getting their mitts on it. It's in the room where I was lodging when they got me. Yeah. This is the key to it. Take it. Always stay one step ahead, mate. See you in hell, I guess. Shakespeare. It's mine. What did he just say? It's mine. That loot is mine. Mr. Shakespeare? It's all lies. I don't accept any of it. Why should I? After all, you don't have a shred of evidence. You can prove I killed that fellow. Forsooth, I'm the victim here, remember? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? If I don't admit to it, there's nothing you can do. You can't arrest me. For the time being, anyway. Barely. You can't arrest the victim, can you? Isn't that right, ladies and gentlemen? I'm so close. I just need a few more hours. I swore to myself that I'd get my hands on it, and I can almost taste it now. Do you really think I'd just give up? There's no question in my mind now. This man's guilty through and through.
But he seems so utterly intoxicated by the idea of that loot. I'm afraid that however hard you press him, He'll never admit to what he's done, Mr. Naruto.
There is a way.
Pardon?
There's one way I can finish him.
No.
He's already committed the most heinous crime to get his hands on that loot. Which means all we need to do is find it first. A fine plan. Were it not for the fact that the police thoroughly searched the room following the death of Mr. Loss. If it's there at all, it must be very well hidden indeed. Without conclusive evidence, I certainly cannot rule.
If only there was some way we could find the convicts' loot quickly.
This is the final piece of this complex puzzle. But I think we might have it in our possession already. Or rather, I think we may well have something that can help us find where that loot is hidden. My lord. Yes, counsel. The defense would like to make a proposal about how to find the late convict's hidden loot. I believe we are already in possession of something that could give us a clue as to its whereabouts. It's our last chance, so it has to be worth a gamble. Besides, we've used the same technique once already, and it definitely paid off then. Very well, counsel. Let's hear the court hear your idea. What do you propose we use in order to locate the hiding place of the deceased convict's hull?
Take that!
If I'm not mistaken, those are Mr. Shakespeare's handprints on the wall of his lodgings. That's right, my lord. Exposed as a result of the defense's independent investigation of the scene.
Based on a wonderful new discovery in the field of forensic science by the great detective, Mr. Sholmes.
A great detective? Is that some kind of joke? Do you really think I'm going to be daunted by a man with such a ridiculous title?
I just think the great bard ought to recognize such a title when he hears one, Mr. Shamspeare. Perhaps we should compete for the honor of most ridiculous title.
Ah! 'Tis Herlock Sholmes himself! What are you doing here, great detective? Your usual haunts are the filthy back streets of the capital, are they not?
Ah, Miss Reaper, it's been too long. And I see your complexion has worsened since last we met.
Mr. Sholmes? He does know Lord Van Zieks then. Well enough to say something like that, in any case. Mr. Sholmes, though you may be hailed as a great detective by the population at large, that does not give you the right to come and go in my courtroom as you see fit.
If I may, my lord, Mr. Sholmes' newly developed scientific method has helped us uncover vital clues in this case already.
Clues, you say?
I call them skin prints, my lord. My method identifies every location touched by an individual under scrutiny. It's the method by which we were able to ascertain this gentleman's gas pipe activities. Oh! You need only a small sample of something the individual had previously touched to make an indicator solution. In your case, sir, I used the teacup you had been holding. Elementary. So now, Mr. Naruto.
Ah, yes?
What am I to use as a sample to make the indicator solution this time?
Thank you for offering to help, Mr. Sholmes.
When the convict was arrested, he was living in what is now Soseki-san's room. We need a sample to help locate Sozu's loot that's hidden in his room. What form will the sample take?
I don't have any... The key's the only thing that has his, like, remaining print on it, possibly. So, we would have to send a person. We will need something of Selden's in order to create this indicator solution to find a solution. And something the convict owned happens to be in the possession of somebody listed in the court record. Upon my word, Mr. Naruto, your powers of reasoning appears to be on the up. So, which particular person do you have in mind? From whom can we obtain a possession of the late convict Selden to create the indicator solution? Our one is Olive
Take
Green.
that!
Miss Green.
Me? What do you...
Whoops.
What do you want with me?
The key around your neck, if you please.
Sorry?
That key belonged to Selden. There will be remnants of secretions from the man's skin on his surface that we can use.
Very true.
That is the sample we need. Using it, we can create the indicator solution required for Mr. Sholmes' skin print seeker. And find out exactly what Selden touched in the room that he used to rent.
Oh! Mr. Shamspeare, as one great to another, I assure you, if the late convict's hall is hidden somewhere in his former lodgings, I shall uncover it in no more than 30 minutes. Ugh.
So, Mr. Shamspeare, the truth is well within our grasp now. And as such, you will never get your hands on Selden's stolen wolf.
In that case, I'll gladly let Mr. Sholmes have this key.
No! Give the key to me! The detective shan't have it. It's over, Mr. Shamspeare.
No, no.
You're out of options now. There's only one thing left for you to do. Admit your guilt. What the hell?
Whoa. Oh, shameful spear, despair, be thy name!
Oh, he actually got shot. What the hell? Ow. That piece exploded. Like shrapnel. So tasty, but so painful.
I never intended to kill the man. I just want to drive him out of the room. That's all.
Oh crap, I'm bleeding. So you'd have time to find the convict's haul of stolen goods? Yet, after you'd killed the young man, you still didn't move into the room.
I asked the landlord, of course. I pleaded with him, but he refused.
Why?
I was 3 months behind with the rent, for one thing.
Mr. Garrett really has had a lot to put up with.
And he had the gas repair work done immediately afterwards, putting the room out of action for a while. And then, this Japanese man swooped in at just the right moment to sign the new lease. Poor Mr. Natsume. What unfortunate timing. Then, 5 days ago, After the incident on Briar Road when the Japanese fellow got himself arrested, I thought I'd finally have my chance, but it wasn't to be.
No, the scene was sealed off and guarded by the police night and day.
And if I recall rightly, Mr. Sean spent the whole day in there reading books.
I couldn't even enter the room, let alone search for the loot. Which is why, on the day Mr. Natsumi was acquitted and returned to his room, he once again tried to trick of blowing air into the gas pipe that feeds the stove in his room. Oh shit, I actually am bleeding! Damn. That's gonna get it. That was a bad angle. Unbeknownst to you, however, that action will lead you into a deadly trap.
William Shakespeare. How does it go? To be or not to be? That is the question.
From Shakespeare's Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1.
Well, let me tell you, in your case, it's not to be. That is the answer. You deserve to die for what you've done. At first, I really did think it was just a terrible accident. I'll never forget our conversation the night before Duncan died.
The gas supply at my new lodgings are a complete disaster, you know, Olive. The gas supply?
The gas supply?
Yes, the stove always seems to go out in the middle of the night for some reason.
That's no joke.
They say it's the convict's curse.
Oh, Duncan, please, don't stay there. I don't care how cheap it is.
Alright then. If it's that important to you, I'll start looking for a new place. There are spare rooms at my house.
There are spare rooms at my house. Why don't you leave that horrible room tonight?
No, I dare not. We said we'd wait until we graduated before we told our parents, remember?
Oh, man. But that was the last time we ever spoke. That very night, he fell victim to the gas. If only I'd known it was going to happen, I'd have insisted he left that horrible room that instant. But instead, all I've been left with is bitter regret. I stopped going to school. But something kept drawing me back to the house on Briar Road. I saw a stooped Eastern-looking man with a mustache coming out of the house one day when I was there. He walked up the road to Grub's Grubbery for some food, so I followed him and sat myself down next to him. He had some watery-looking soup and started to pick a quarrel with the publican.
That place is cursed, I tell you, cursed! The ghost of that convict who used to live there, trying to suffocate me! I wake up in the middle of the night, freezing to death because the stove has gone out. The room is full of gas and I can hardly breathe. But the pipes have been checked. No problem there. It's like I'm the problem. That's what they're thinking.
But how could that be? Duncan was gone, and Now this man had almost suffered the same fate. Could it really be a curse? Then I remembered a rumor I'd heard about how the gas companies go around investigating the gas installations.
A rumor? Ah, you mean...
Yes, everybody's heard the stories, it seems, about how they go around checking the pipes.
how anything connected to the gas can be extinguished by blowing air into the pipework.
That's when it started. A little flicker of doubt in the back of my mind. That just wouldn't go away. Was this really an accident though? Once I had the idea, it wouldn't leave me alone. It plagued me day and night. So I bought this at one of the black markets in the Eastern End.
Black market?
I'd never been. I just heard people talk about them. And you really can buy anything you can think of there. In some ways, being able to get my hands on this so easily made me even more determined. I had to find out one way or another. Was Duncan's death an accident? Or was it murder?
And your chosen method for establishing the truth was simple, but highly effective. Smear poison on the gas pipe you suspected the man of tampering with, and wait. If Mr. Shakespeare was innocent, nothing would come of what you'd done. But if he was guilty, he would pay for his crimes dearly.
I found out the name of the man I suspected, William Shakespeare, and then I wrote him this little note. I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Blair Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. If he'd done it, I knew that would worry him enough so he'd be sure to go. So I waited to see if it worked.
And of course, Mr. Shakespeare followed the instructions to the letter.
I worked out where the gas pipe was straight away. So I smeared a good amount of the poison I bought all around the mouth of the pipe. All the time praying that the devil's work wouldn't be done. And that it was all just some wild fantasy. Actually, no. All the time praying that the devil's work would be done. And that the culprit would get his just desserts.
Days ago, when you were first stood in the dock before me, this whole affair seemed relatively straightforward. Yes, my lord. I certainly never imagined the depths of depravity that we should subsequently find lurking behind the scenes. It has been a long road, my Nipponese friend. Oh, yes. And one I certainly don't envisage walking with you. Nevertheless, together we have reached the light at the end of the tunnel, as it were. Miss Green.
Yes, my lord.
You will henceforth be stripped of your freedom as punishment for the attempted murder of Mr. William Shakespeare.
Yes, I know.
And you, Mr. Shakespeare, you will be tried for the murder of Mr. Duncan Ross in cold blood, and the subsequent attempted murder of Mr. Suseki Natsume here present.
Mr. Naruhodo,
Ah, yes?
yesterday at the hospital, when you and your friend stopped me from
Ending your life by drinking what was left in the poison ball?
I wasn't myself. I can't even really remember what was going through my mind. To be or not to be, I suppose. That's a question that's so hard to answer, it seems.
Well, personally, I'm glad you're being here, Miss Green.
Oh,
And I'd like to believe that is a blessing Mr. Shamspear didn't die when he ingested the poison. For your sake, at the very least.
because of you, I chose life, not death. And now, you've made the truth come out at last. Really, I can't thank you enough. Oh, Miss Green.
Mr. Sasaki Nasube,
Yes, my lord.
the court declares that you are exonerated from all blame in this matter. Accordingly, I would call upon the ladies and gentlemen of the jury to present a verdict of not guilty. We are in full agreement, my lord. In that case, I hereby declare the defendant not guilty.
Oh my god!
How would that ever be safe? Court is adjourned.
February, 3:24 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Oh, yes, yes. At last. Divine justice duly done.
Divine justice? My dear fellow, if there were any divine justice in this world, you would have shaved the mustache.
No, this has nothing to do with my mustache.
Some say that a luxuriant mustache is a sign of physical prowess, Mr. Jones.
Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. Once again, you saved me from doom.
I'm very happy to have been able to help Mr. Natsume. Congratulations on your acquittal. Your second in almost as many days.
I was first acquainted with and gained affection for English literature whilst in our great homeland empire out. And by then, by a twist of fate, I was brought to the land that bore the fruit of that literature. Only, the city of bricks and mortar became my prison. Try as I might, I never found my feet here. In the end, I confined myself to my room and lived life through friendly old books.
You've had such a difficult time, haven't you? Ah, but a week ago now, I dragged you out of that dark, dingy room of yours, did I not?
You did, and I've seen more of life in this week than I did in all my years to date. And for the first time, I feel I've begun to see the true face of the English that's so far been hiding from me behind the wall of fog. All of you are racist. Horribly racist.
My dear fellow, there is nothing special about the true face of the English, as you put it. Wheresoever one goes in the world, humans are human. there are a few genuine differences.
Yes, I think you're right. I finally start to see that, and I've come to understand something. I've worked out why I was attracted to English literature in the first place. It made me see that whatever our nationality, we humans all have the same hopes and fears. We're all just doing our best to live. Well said. I've come to feel the same way. I've made a decision too. I'm going to cut short my study tour here and return to Japan.
What? Just when we become friends here in England. What a terrible shame.
Oh, I know. That does tug at my heartstrings. It really does. But I've decided I'd like to take everything I've learned here in Britain and write something of my own. A novel of sorts, I suppose.
Oh my. So you'll be creating your own literature, Mr. Natsumi? How wonderful.
Oh, well, no, I mean, I wouldn't presume to call it literature.
Why not? When that is precisely the definition, Mr. Mustache.
I suppose you're right, yes. It will, in a way, be literature. But as of now, all I know is that I'd like to try my hand at writing. I have no delusions of grandeur.
I, for one, would love to read your work. Well, all things considered, it may be for the best. After all, you have once again emerged victorious from a battle with the Reaper.
Ah, that's very true.
And there is no salvation for a person in the dock when the Reaper is the prosecutor. The desire to return post-haste to the perceived safety of your homeland is one I quite understand. My goodness, yes. Faced with such a terrifying prospect. Nobody would consider that cowardly, I'm quite sure.
But that's not why I'm leaving. I mean it. Objection! And that was the case that we found ourselves embroiled in 6 months ago now. So Seki-san did indeed return to Japan and submitted a report about both cases to the government. It was on reading that report that Professor Mikotoba was prompted to visit the scholar. And barely any time later, Fusawa-san was given the news that he must return to Japan as well. On the back of a telegram, stating falsely that her father had fallen gravely ill. The only possible explanation that comes to mind is what happened after the trial, on the following day. The day that we uncovered the loot, hidden by the now deceased convict and his former lodgings. What was in the loot? Oh, I see it. 24th February, 10:13 a.m. Mr. Natsume's room.
Oh, well done, Mr. Sholmes. How simply marvelous of you. To uncover the secret hiding place in just one day.
Was it supposed to take 30 minutes?
As I believe I told you, my dear fellows, skin prints are extremely useful in such situations. Wouldn't you agree, Quickson? Blightsy's been happily munching in agreement this whole time, you know, Hurley. Happily? I think perhaps humorously might be closer to the truth. So, it transpires the man fashioned a hiding place in the ceiling. And what's in it? What exactly is the loot? Let us look then. If you're ready, let's examine the late burglar's hall.
What the?
What is that?
A bloody collar.
It looks like some sort of neckband or collar.
A collar? It's here though. A belt, then?
And look at all the gemstones set in it. I see why it was claimed to be worth £1,000. Perhaps I could have it as a belt. Oh, have you noticed inside? Have you noticed on the inside there? There are some dark stains.
You don't think they could be blood, do you? I mean, there's quite a lot of it.
On second thought, perhaps I won't have it as a belt. Then of course, there's this emblem here. A large letter B. And a small crown.
What does it signify, do you think?
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. I feel as though I've seen that emblem somewhere before, you know. Where could it have been? That's enough of that, I think.
What?
What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes?
All the color has drained from his face.
Well, Inspector, I believe you ought to be taking this. Oughtn't you? It could be valuable evidence, after all. It must be kept safely under lock and key.
Ah, yes. Get your grubby hands off that, you lot. And hand it over, now. I've never seen a collar that large before. And all those jewels certainly look to be extremely valuable. But that's not what stood out to me most. But that's not what stood the most to me. Oh, but that's not what stood out the most to me. At least, not once I noticed it. Those dark marks on the inside of the collar. Those stains. Could they really have been blood?
Well, that was a funny case, wasn't it? But it's all buttoned up now.
And you look very pleased, Iris.
I am, because I was starting to wonder what I could use as the basis of this month's story in the magazine. Well, this case will be perfect. It's been so fascinating.
You're talking about the latest installment of the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, I presume?
The mystery of the knife in the mist, and the mustache man and the convict's curse, perhaps. I can make it a 2+ story. Oh, I can't wait. A word, please, Iris. Yes, what is it, Hurley? I'm sorry, but you can't write about this case. It's out of the question. What? Why not? It's a great case. Then I shall have to insist that you limit yourself to the first of your 2 titles. The second must never be written. Is that clear? Yes. What is this underlying case?
And so it was that the second of Souseki-san's cases became buried in obscurity. Now, looking back, I feel I understand. I can see why Mr. Sholmes forbade Iris from publishing the story. It would take a little longer before I saw the link between everything that had happened and would happen. For it wasn't until 2 months after the arrival of Susato-san's letter that events began to unfurl again. With an incident that took place at the very heart of the eagerly awaited Great Exhibition of London.
Perfect timing. So interested in what the mystery is. Alright. So we'll do Star Rail tomorrow, and do a story until that's done. Which shouldn't take longer than like 3 streams max. I expect it to be done too. Ow! Oh, damn it! I myself a lot tick. And then we'll continue on with the Great Ace Attorney. Until then, thank you everyone who joined me today, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye!